I wanted the M&Ms during this reaction, but I realized you guys would just hear me chomping the whole time. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the first-time viewers, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, hit the like button and share it with somebody who you know. Today, I want to react to Stephen Gardner's video about his stimulus update. I really have liked Stephen Gardner's videos, and I've enjoyed all of his videos that he's put out there. There are just a few things that I want to expound on in this video, and so I hope that you guys enjoy what I have to share from my point of view of what he's saying. With that said, let's jump right into it.
Well, Congress is not back in session for the people. That is frustrating. Today's update will involve discussions from Senate leaders on a need for stimulus money. As of right now, there has been no public progress of any kind for another proposed stimulus bill. In fact, there seems to only be bickering and scheming on ways to undercut the American people.
So far, I agree mostly with what he said. I've mentioned from the very beginning that I don't think there will be more stimulus, so I think that's kind of why they're holding off, but we'll keep listening.
I wish today were a positive update, but I feel that you need to be kept in the loop on what is being discussed and planned for.
I think there needs to be more of this. Everybody tries to be positive and say, oh, you're going to get $2,000 a month, oh, you're going to get $3,000 a month, whatever. And that's not the reality of it. The reality of it, those are just bills, and we need to talk about the reality of things. So, agreed with that.
I feel like America is a burning house, and Congress and the Senate are fire captains trying to figure out the cost of the water bill while the house is burning down.
Okay, so about this, it's not that the House and Senate haven't dumped water on the fire. They have dumped water on the fire already, right, in an amount of over $2 trillion. Now they're concerned if they dump too much water on the house, it's going to destroy the house, right? Totally obliterate the house. And so that's what they're concerned about right now, is dumping too much water on the fire. It's not whether the cost of dumping the water on the fire is worth it. They've already done that. Now they just need to make sure that it's not too much water.
It's just such backwards thinking at this point, I can barely stand it. President Trump declared a national emergency on March 1st. That was over 60 days ago. 40% of the nation has still not received their first stimulus money, including my own family, while 60% that have already spent that money on March and April bills, and while getting supplies to ramp up for quarantine.
Okay, the 40% who haven't received their stimulus money, I think this is a huge issue, and I think it needs to be something that's addressed quickly. I know that they're trying to address it, and it's difficult because especially for the people who need to receive hard checks, they can only issue so many checks at one time. And so I know that that's difficult. For the people who can get direct deposit and have signed up for it, I don't get why they can't get that money out to them, honestly. The 60% of people who have gotten their stimulus check, though, I feel like not all of them spent their money on like wholesome good things like bills and stuff. I actually have a brother who lives in Indiana, and he happens to work for the Postal Service, and they deliver Amazon packages all the time. And right when people started receiving their stimulus checks, he had like double or triple the amount of boxes that he had to deliver with mail. So I'm just saying, like, I mean, I get they may have been doing their online shopping through Amazon and stuff, but I don't know if all of that was like bills and stuff that they needed. I think it was stuff they maybe wanted because it was free money.
True, the CARE Act did provide money and additional assistance for those that are unemployed. But at the time, I don't think they considered that this would take longer than 14 days, and they certainly did not consider that nearly 30 million Americans would be laid off. I believe most people are willing to stay in quarantine if they can pay their bills, but otherwise, people need to get back to work and start providing for their family. These bills have not been put on hold. It's just us and our income.
So I totally agree with this. I think that people need to get back to work. I think they need to do it in a new way that's more cautious and careful about how we interact with each other and whatnot. But I do think people need to get back to work. And I think states have started this process. I don't think it can happen overnight. But I think they've heard from the American people that they want to get back to work. And I think that that's where they are headed. And this is in the state's hand, not so much Congress's hands. So definitely a state issue here, in my opinion.
Now, I'm not sharing this information to promote fear. I'm also not sharing updates to promote false hope. But I believe that you need to know what is going on. Before the lockdown, nearly 60% of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck. So holding them back from working for 30 to 90 days is not going to help their situation. And in fact, those people collectively spend more than the wealthy because there's so many more of them. They need help covering their monthly bills.
And I don't know what I think about this. Honest, like 60% of the people don't have enough for next month's bills. But why are we relying on the government to cover that? Why are we living in such a way that we need the government to cover our bills? If we can't cover next month's bills, shouldn't we cut back on our spending? That's kind of how I think with that, is live within your means. And your means aren't, okay, I make $3,500 a month, I can spend $3,500 a month. It's, okay, I make $3,500 a month and I can spend $2,500 or $3,000 a month. So you really, I feel like people really need to take a step back and look at what they can do to save money and save more money. And that's a huge reason why I started this channel, was to share money tips on how to save money, how to make more money, how to get your finances in order. And so I think that is an important thing for each of us to take into consideration.
Congress and Senate need to get back to work for the American people. Senator John Cronin of Texas, a member of the GOP leadership, pushed back on criticism for getting back to work for the people, saying, "Should we be curled up in the fetal position and just demonstrate to the rest of the country that we shouldn't show up and do their job if they can do theirs safely?" I agree with Senator Cronin. The Senate and Congress need to get back to work, and they need to set a positive example, or they won't be working for the American people in the future. President
Shots fired. Just kidding.
Along with Steve Mnuchin, have said that they are willing to look at more stimulus package as long as it includes cutting payroll tax and helping get jobs going again. But there's also a major problem. 30 million people are out of work and can't get through to the unemployment money. So you set money aside, but they can't reach it because of antiquated systems and overrun government employees.
So true on this, that there are a lot of people who haven't been able to get their unemployment set up and whatnot, but it's not the 30 million people. That's a little bit dramatized. It's not all 30 million people. I know plenty of people who have been able to apply for unemployment and get unemployment granted to them, and this has been a huge blessing for so many people, to have that federal mandated extra $600 a month for their unemployment. So I think that that's important to remember, is that unemployment is working, it's just not working for some people. And there are some people who fell through the cracks who aren't able to get unemployment and other business loans and stuff. But the majority, it's working for.
There needs to be a serious consideration in streamlining the unemployment right now while you have 30 million people unemployed. As of today,
it's too late. It's too late to streamline unemployment and to fix the problem now. It needed to be fixed years ago. Now is too late to fix a problem such as this.
Seems that the Senate is only concerned with businesses having money and not the people. To the Senate, I would say, who do you think is going to come out of quarantine able to reopen the country and spend money? It won't be the majority of Americans who are now 30 to 60 days behind on their bills.
Majority of Americans aren't 30 to 60 days behind on their bills. Those who are unemployed is 30 million Americans, and that's 1 in 5. That's 20% of Americans. And so there aren't the majority of Americans who can't pay their bills. The majority of Americans can pay their bills and are doing okay. Anyway, you guys, I really do enjoy Stephen Gardner's videos. I enjoy how much effort he puts into them. He's very professional about it. And I'm impressed with what he's been able to do in such a short amount of time. He only had less than 10,000 subscribers, I think, just a few weeks ago. And the dude's over 200,000 subscribers. Like, bravo. He's doing amazing. So congrats, Stephen Gardner. I love your videos. Thank you for putting them out there. And I hope that this builds upon your thoughts, and hopefully some people who have different thoughts can share theirs as well. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.